The 1980 Australian 20-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II is a significant piece of Australian numismatic history that represents not only the economic narrative of the country during the late 20th century but also embodies the cultural, artistic, and metallurgical evolution of Australia's coinage system. This coin, issued as part of the decimal currency system introduced in Australia in 1966, belongs to the series that replaced the pre-decimal system and became a crucial part of everyday commerce and trade. The obverse side of the coin bears the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, symbolizing Australia's constitutional monarchy and its continued association with the British Crown under the Commonwealth realm. The effigy used on the 1980 20-cent coin was designed by Arnold Machen, one of the renowned sculptors and coin designers of the 20th century, whose portrayal of the Queen was highly regarded for its elegance, poise, and regal refinement. In this portrait, Queen Elizabeth II faces to the right, adorned with the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, an iconic piece of royal jewelry that has often been depicted on various Commonwealth coinages. The inscription around the effigy reads, Elizabeth II Australia 1980, denoting the monarch's name, the issuing country, and the year of mintage, providing essential numismatic information at a single glance. This obverse design was used on Australian coins from 1966 until 1984 before being replaced by the Raphael Makhlouf portrait in 1985, making the 1980 issue part of the earlier and widely circulated Machen portrait era. Turning to the reverse side, the 1980 Australian 20-cent coin features one of the most celebrated and beloved designs in Australian coinage history, the platypus motif. Designed by Stuart Devlin, who served as the goldsmith and jeweller to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and was the chief designer of Australia's decimal coinage, the reverse showcases a striking image of a platypus, a unique semi-aquatic mammal native to Australia, swimming through water with dynamic, swirling lines that represent the flow of water around it. The platypus, an egg-laying mammal found mainly in eastern Australia including Tasmania, was chosen as the emblem of the 20-cent coin to represent the distinctiveness of Australian wildlife and to promote national identity through coinage. Devlin's design is both artistic and symbolic, with the animal depicted in a natural, fluid motion that captures the essence of its aquatic habitat. Below the platypus, the denomination, 20, is prominently displayed, ensuring clear recognition of the coin's value. This design, introduced in 1966, has remained largely unchanged for regular circulation issues of the 20-cent coin, which adds to its familiarity and iconic status in Australian currency. The 1980 20-cent coin was minted in substantial quantities to meet circulation demands during that period. The official mintage figure for this year is approximately 76,364,000 coins, produced primarily at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. Some coins were also struck at the Royal Mint in London during periods of high demand, though the majority were domestically produced. The coin is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a standard cupronickel alloy used for its durability, corrosion resistance, and relatively low cost of production. This alloy gives the coin its characteristic silver-gray appearance and a weighty, solid feel in the hand. The coin has a diameter of 28.52 mm, a thickness of 2.5 mm, and a mass of 11.31 grams, making it one of the heavier and larger coins in the Australian decimal series. Its edge is smooth plain without any reading or lettering, a feature consistent with all Australian 20-cent coins since their inception. In terms of historical and economic context, the year 1980 was a period of transition and moderate economic challenge for Australia, marked by fluctuating inflation rates, the impact of global oil crises in the preceding decade, and shifts in trade policies. The 20-cent coin was an essential part of daily financial transactions, frequently used for purchases of basic consumer goods, public transport fares, and vending machines, and played a role in the pricing structure of the time where smaller denominations like 1 cent and 2 cents were still in use. Over the decades, the purchasing power of the 20-cent coin has declined due to inflation, but in 1980 it retained a relatively higher value compared to today. Collectors and numismatists view the 1980 Australian 20-cent coin as a standard circulation issue, not particularly rare but important for completing decimal coin collections by date. Its value in the collector's market is usually modest unless found in uncirculated (UNC) or proof condition. Circulated examples generally hold face value, while well-preserved uncirculated pieces can fetch a small premium, often in the range of a few dollars depending on market demand and condition. Proof versions, if any were struck for mint sets in 1980, are typically more sought after by collectors due to their superior strike quality and mirror-like fields. Key factors affecting the value include minting errors, planchette flaws, or varieties such as double strikes, off-center strikes, or die cracks, which can significantly increase desirability among error coin enthusiasts. The cultural significance of this coin is intertwined with Australia's adoption of decimal currency and its portrayal of unique fauna on national coinage. The platypus design has become one of the most recognizable elements of Australian money, appearing not only on coins but also in educational materials and tourism promotions. The use of Queen Elizabeth II's portrait connects the coin to the broader Commonwealth tradition, where the monarch's effigy serves as a symbol of continuity, stability, and shared history among member nations. For Australians growing up in the 1970s and 1980s, the 20-cent coin was a staple in their pockets and purses, often used for school canteens, newspapers, and small treats, embedding it in the collective memory of that era. From a metallurgical perspective, the coin's cupronickel composition has proven highly durable, with many 1980 20-cent coins still in circulation today despite over 4 decades of wear. The alloy resists tarnishing and corrosion, particularly in the varied climates of Australia, from humid coastal regions to arid interiors. Over time, circulated examples may develop minor scratches, loss of luster, or surface nicks from repeated handling, but they generally remain functional and legible even after decades of use. Cleaning of such coins is discouraged by collectors as it can diminish numismatic value by altering the original patina or leaving abrasive marks. The 1980 20-cent coin also forms part of a broader narrative in Australian numismatics, where certain years, particularly those with low mintages like 1983, 1985, and 1992, are more sought after. The 1980 issue, with its high mintage, is more common, but it plays a role in understanding mint production cycles and public demand at the time. It also coincides with a period when Australia was modernizing its minting facilities and improving quality control processes. In summary, the 1980 Australian 20-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II and the platypus design is a common yet historically and culturally significant piece of coinage. It reflects Australia's commitment to showcasing its unique wildlife, its ties to the British monarchy, and the robust design principles established during the introduction of decimal currency. While not rare or highly valuable in circulated condition, it remains a beloved coin for many Australians and a necessary component for date-by-date collectors of Australian decimal coins. Its legacy endures not just in its metal form but in its representation of a period in Australia's history where everyday coinage was both functional and emblematic of national identity. Next coin. The 1978 Australian 20-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II represents an essential chapter in the story of Australian decimal currency, a coin that carries with it historical, economic, and cultural significance tied to the late 1970s period of Australia's monetary evolution. Struck as part of the decimal coinage series introduced in 1966, this 20-cent piece was designed to serve as a mid-denomination coin for daily commercial transactions, bridging the gap between low-value coins such as the 1, 2, 5 and 10 cents and higher denominations like the 50 cents and the $1 banknotes in circulation at the time. The $1 coin would not be introduced until 1984. On its obverse side, the coin displays the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, who was the reigning monarch of Australia and continues to serve as the constitutional monarch of the Commonwealth realm. The portrait used in 1978 is the Arnold Machen design, first introduced on Australian coins in 1966 and used until 1984. In this effigy, Her Majesty is depicted facing to the right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a prominent royal headpiece that has become closely associated with her official image during the mid-20th century. Around the portrait, the inscription reads, Elizabeth II Australia 1978, clearly identifying the monarch, the issuing nation, and the year of minting. This design conveys both continuity and a sense of tradition, symbolizing the unity of the Commonwealth nations under the Crown while maintaining a distinct Australian identity in its inscriptions. The reverse side of the 1978 Australian 20-cent coin features one of the most iconic designs in the entire decimal series, the platypus motif created by Stuart Devlin, the distinguished goldsmith and official jeweler to Her Majesty the Queen. Devlin's design showcases a platypus swimming through stylized water currents, its streamlined body, webbed feet, and flat bill depicted with artistic precision. The swirling lines surrounding the platypus convey the movement of water, giving the impression of a natural aquatic habitat and emphasizing the dynamic life of this unique Australian animal. The platypus, an egg-laying mammal endemic to eastern Australia and Tasmania, was chosen for the 20-cent coin to represent the singularity of Australia's fauna and to foster a sense of national pride in the country's natural heritage. Below the animal is the bold denomination numeral, 20, which clearly identifies the coin's value. The platypus design, first introduced with the advent of decimalization in 1966, has remained largely unchanged for general circulation coins, a testament to its enduring appeal and instantly recognizable aesthetic. The coin is made from cupronickel alloy, consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a composition widely used for mid-value coinage around the world due to its resilience, moderate cost, and resistance to corrosion. The 1978 20-cent coin has a mass of 11.31 grams, a diameter of 28.52 millimeters, a thickness of 2.5 millimeters, and a plain, smooth edge, which differentiates it from the reeded edges found on some higher-value coins like the 50 cents 1966 round issue or later commemorative releases. Its weight and size make it one of the more substantial coins in Australian pockets during the late 1970s, a period when coin-based transactions were still dominant in everyday commerce and small-value paper notes were gradually being phased out in preparation for future coinage adjustments. From a mintage perspective, the 1978 Australian 20-cent coin was produced in relatively large numbers, with approximately 59,800,000 coins struck for general circulation by the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. No mint marks were applied, as is standard for circulation strikes of this denomination during that era, making the coin relatively common in Australian coinage history. However, despite its commonness, the coin remains important for collectors seeking to assemble complete year sets or those focusing on the early decades of decimal coinage. Proof versions were also struck in limited quantities for inclusion in collector-proof sets, and these specimens, with their mirror-like fields and frosted designs, are far more sought after than standard circulation issues. The historical context of 1978 in Australia plays an interesting role in the narrative of this coin. This period was marked by moderate inflation, rising global oil prices, and a shifting economic landscape as the country adjusted to new trade realities and internal fiscal reforms. Decimal currency was already well established by this time, and the 20-cent coin played an integral part in day-to-day financial life, commonly used for purchasing food items, public transport fares, newspapers, milk, and other essential goods. Its purchasing power was considerably higher than what the 20-cent coin represents in today's economy due to inflationary pressures over the subsequent decades. For numismatists and collectors, the 1978 Australian 20-cent coin is generally considered a common circulation issue, not rare in worn condition but collectible in uncirculated UNC or proof quality. Circulated specimens often have only face value or slightly above, depending on wear, whereas coins preserved in high mint state MS grades, particularly MS 65 or higher, can command a modest premium, usually a few dollars. Proof coins are coins with confirmed minting errors, such as double strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchette flaws, are of higher interest to specialized collectors and can fetch significantly higher prices depending on rarity and demand. The design significance of this coin cannot be overstated. Stuart Devlin's work on the platypus has been hailed as one of the finest examples of modern numismatic art, combining realism with stylized artistic elements to create a timeless depiction that is both functional and visually striking. The choice of the platypus reflects Australia's broader numismatic strategy of featuring native wildlife on its decimal coins, the 5 cents with the echidna, 10 cents with the lyrebird, 50 cents with the Australian coat of arms, and the dollar coins introduced later with kangaroos and other iconic species. This approach aimed to create a uniquely Australian identity for its money, distinct from the earlier pre-decimal designs that had stronger ties to British motifs. The physical durability of the 1978 20-cent coin has allowed many examples to survive in circulation even decades later. The cupronickel alloy does not corrode easily and can withstand handling, though frequent use results in gradual loss of mint luster, scratches, nicks, and bag marks. Collectors often seek coins with original mint bloom and minimal surface wear, which are typically found in coin rolls, mint bags, or inherited collections. Cleaning or polishing circulated coins is discouraged, as it diminishes numismatic value and can leave permanent damage to the coin's surface. From a cultural and historical standpoint, this coin is a small but meaningful representation of Australia in the late 1970s, a nation strengthening its unique identity while still retaining constitutional links to the British Crown. Queen Elizabeth II's portrait on the obverse reflects that ongoing connection, while the reverse embodies the country's pride in its extraordinary wildlife. For those who grew up in that era, the 20-cent coin is often remembered as a standard part of daily transactions, used in payphones, vending machines, school canteens, and public transportation. Its tactile weight and iconic platypus design made it both practical and memorable. When compared to other years in the 20-cent series, 1978 is not considered a key or low mintage year like the scarce 1983 or the non-circulating 1985 issue, but it fills an essential gap for anyone collecting the series by date. Over the years, many coins from the late 1970s have been withdrawn from circulation due to wear or melting for metal recovery, but their original large mintage ensures a steady supply remains in collections and circulation. Today, the value of the 1978 Australian 20-cent coin depends greatly on its condition. A well-circulated example usually retains only its face value of 20 cents, while an uncirculated coin may sell for between $1 to $5 AUD depending on grade and market demand. Proof versions can range from $10 to $20 AUD or more, especially if part of a complete 1978 proof set. Error coins are exceptionally high-grade specimens, MS67+, can fetch considerably more in specialist auctions. Overall, the 1978 Australian 20-cent coin stands as a resilient and enduring element of Australia's modern coinage. It reflects the established design principles of the early decimal series, represents a period of economic adjustment and growth, and carries forward the symbolism of Australian fauna combined with the image of the reigning monarch. While common in number, it remains a cherished piece for many collectors and an emblem of everyday life in 1978 Australia, a coin that has passed through millions of hands over the decades, facilitating trade, holding memories, and preserving a small yet significant slice of national heritage.